That means that my next game, my number 12 game, is Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2. I don't know how many of you have played this game before, but I remember. Do you remember how I got this game?
Isn't it Oscar?
There was a neighborhood kid named Oscar who I don't know how it happened. I think I straight up tried to steal the game from him. And then we convinced
he tried to steal a game from me, so
yeah.
there's a lot
So
of that
it
going
was
on.
eye for an eye. But he left without a case. It was the deluxe edition of Ultimate Spider-Man for PS2, and it had the purple cover on it, and I remember it so vividly, and I took it, and he was like, "Where's my game?" And we were like, "You don't have that game." And we basically gaslighted him into believing that he didn't actually own Ultimate Spider-Man. In hindsight, it was a really shitty thing to do. But I took the game home, and the basic premise of the game is it's the first time that you ever get to play as Venom. But it's not a Venom solo game. It's basically you play the same story, but every once in a while you'll switch from Spider-Man, Peter Parker, to Venom, to Eddie Brock, and you play their side of each story. So Spider-Man obviously controls a lot like Spider-Man. The web swinging is very fluid. The combat is very acrobatic. There's a lot of time trials where you have to race against Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four. And the story, which I can't really remember because it's been a while since I've played that. If they remaster Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm going to piss my pants because I love that game so much. They probably won't because Spider-Man PS4 is doing so well. But then when you shift to the Venom side, he plays a lot differently. He almost plays more like the Hulk. If you've ever played as the Hulk in like Ultimate Destruction or like one of the, Avengers games, he does like a lot of big jumps where you can charge a jump and then, soar into the sky. You can climb walls, but because you're just like forcing your fists into the side of the wall, you can eat people, which is so fun because like your health is constantly draining. So you need to like take people with your tendrils and then you just like absorb them and eat them. I'm pretty sure there's a mission where you have to eat a child.
Nice.
I can't you eat a kid and then like his Spider-Man balloon starts to float up into the sky. And I remember chasing the balloon as high as I could just because I wanted to see how far I could go. But yeah, and inevitably you end up fighting Venom as like the final boss in the game as Spider-Man, but it was one of the first open world games I ever played, and getting to find collectibles and do challenges and swing around New York, it was some of the most fun that I ever had. I love this game so much. I forget who voiced Peter Parker, but it was one of my favorite. Like he was my Spider-Man for a really long time. You can unlock different costumes, like which I feel like is a staple in Spider-Man games now, but before it felt like so unique. Yeah, and it came out. Let's see. It came out in 2005 on September 22nd, and a couple years later they released Spider-Man 3, based on the movie. And it just wasn't the same. It didn't play the same.
Spider-Man
but yeah,
3
because
was dog shit, bro.
Was it?
That was a terrible game.
I definitely rented it. I remember when they did all of the Spider-Man 3, like the promotional stuff. Like they had Spider-Man 3 Pop-Tarts, I'm pretty sure. They had Spider-Man 3 like toys at Burger King. They had, dude, there was so much Spider-Man 3 stuff. But yeah, because this was Ultimate Spider-Man, when you fight like Rhino, he's a guy in a big metal suit, and he's not the skin suit Rhino. Also there's Carnage. Carnage is in this game. I totally forgot about Carnage. Shield is in this game. You end up fighting what's her name? It's Silver Sable. I think she's a Shield agent. Nick Fury plays a huge role in this game. So it's like it was very revolutionary for me to see Spider-Man interact with other Marvel heroes. Because like I said, you get to race against the Human Torch. I think Wolverine is in this game at some point too. Like you have to fight Wolverine as Venom. Because you crash into a bar where Wolverine is hanging out and you have to like kick his ass. You fight the Green Goblin. Adrian Toome, the Vulture is in this game. It's so fun, and I can't find the voice actor for Spider-Man here, but yeah, man, it meant a lot to me. I remember a lot of sleepless nights staying up with my friend Caleb, and we were just blasting like Breaking Benjamin and new metal from like 2006 and 7, and we were just taking turns playing this game, swinging around the city trying to like find all of the objectives. Or not find all of the objectives. It seems like such a mom way of explaining video games. There were a lot of collectibles to find. There were a lot of races to do and time trials to do and costumes to unlock. Like you only unlock certain costumes by like meeting certain objectives, like defeating, a certain amount of enemies, by throwing them. Like that earned you a costume. Maybe. I don't remember it super well, but that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm like. These like bottom list games, they're only down there because I have really fond memories of them as a kid. But as I start moving up, I'm gonna start talking about games that either I have played recently and also come from my childhood, and I can objectively say like, yeah, this is a good game. But for now, these are games that I just treasure a lot, and they have alternatives. Like, obviously, playing Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2 is only going to be fulfilling for people who have already played it, or for the sake of satiating anyone's curiosity, just to see what previous Spider-Man games were like, the evolution of Spider-Man games. But if you want to play a good Spider-Man game, just get a PS4. Or play it on it's on PC now, too, right? Because people are modding it.
Yep.
Yeah. Play the original, on PS4. Play the new one. Spider-Man 2 is coming out in the fall. So if you have a PS5, you're definitely playing the new Spider-Man because it's, I can guarantee, going to be competing with Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year. I can't hear you. Bro. That's wild.
Can't hear me.
Yeah, you broke the sound barrier for a second. You were laughing so hard.
Oh, you fucking... Yeah, man, I played that game once at Alex's house because he has it too.
Yeah.
I played it for one sitting and that was it.
Did you like it?
I mean, it seemed fine, but like, I don't know. Maybe just a little outdated.
Yeah, there are better Spider-Man games out there. And that's why I can't put it higher on my list. But I really like it. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero ever, definitively. I always thought it was kind of a cheap choice, so I chose Iron Man for a while, and then I chose like Captain America. But I'm like, nah, man, Spider-Man's where it's at.
Yep.
He's just so cool. And anytime I imagine what it would be like to have powers, I'm like, I'd want to be Spider-Man. Just like even small things like being able to thwip, a remote over to you, or like I'd be playing with the web shooters all day if I were Spider-Man. I'd just be like shooting them at birds and stuff. Not at birds. Obviously not at birds. But, I don't abuse animals, is what I'm saying. I need to clarify that in case PETA is watching.
Fuck you, Peter.
Bless you.
PETA.